and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Amy. I'm coming in a little late because my camera's decided to freak out just a little bit there. So anyway, hopefully you have it going now, and hopefully you can forgive me because that's what we're going to talk about today. I was reading an article the other day in a cancer magazine, and it was talking about the health and wellness benefits of forgiveness, and I thought, well, that's interesting. So I did a little more digging, found some great information on Johns Hopkins website, and it talks about all the benefits of forgiveness for us. So it lowers the risk of heart attack, it improves our cholesterol and sleep. There's an interesting one. Sleep doesn't surprise me that much. I mean, when you're burdened with kind of some anger and some things like that, it can be hard to sleep. Reduces pain, blood pressure, levels of anxiety and depression, and our stress. So there's a whole lot of benefits for forgiveness, and research points to an increase in that forgiveness health connection as we get older. So unfortunately, since we're all doing that, we're aging a little bit, we want to take care of that as soon as possible and carry as little of that into our future, I guess is the best way to put that. So I put a quote in there that I thought was so interesting. I mean, it struck me when I read it. There is an enormous physical burden to being hurt and disappointed. And when I read that, it's like I could feel it from anything that I have hung on to, not forgiving from my past. And I could just literally feel that quote, that burden from being hurt and disappointed. And it's only on us. The other person doesn't care. I mean, usually they don't even know. I mean, I am sure that I have said and done things that hurt and disappointed people that I don't even know about. So, I mean, I wouldn't even know to ask for forgiveness, but they might be carrying that, and that burden is causing them some actual physical harm. So maybe you have some of that in your life. Maybe it's long term. Maybe it's something simple. It's just, somebody annoyed you yesterday. Maybe it's your own spouse annoyed you. But anyway, there's some different things that I read about in this article that I thought were really good. Forgiveness is an active process. It's something that you have to choose to do. You have to actually make the choice to let go of the negative feelings. But the nice thing is that means forgiveness is a choice. It's a choice that you get to make, but it's an active choice. Forgiving because you feel like you have to. I mean, maybe it is that spouse, so you feel like, well, I got to forgive them. I got to live with them every day. Or your children, because they're your children, so you have to forgive them. Or maybe it's a religious reason, and so you feel like you have to forgive based on that. That is shown to bring some relief, but not necessarily full relief. Deep forgiveness is what it was called. Tends to be rooted in finding empathy for the other person and their situation, and that has greater benefits. So sometimes it takes a little digging into why we feel that person did what they did, and maybe it's your own self that you need to look into that with. So kind of digging a little deep, finding empathy for why helps in that deep forgiveness, which gives us greater benefits. Keep in mind, forgiveness doesn't mean that you're now condoning their actions. You're not saying that whatever happened was okay. It just means that you are letting go to, again, find that peace for yourself. Forgiveness doesn't also mean that it's going to completely fix any relationships. Again, it is definitely a personal thing, and sometimes it doesn't fix anything because it's one-sided. Again, you might not get any sort of reaction from that other person, and maybe that's because of how you choose to handle it. So let's talk about that. You have to let go of the expectations. You might not ever get an apology, and you can choose to handle your forgiveness in however you want to. Maybe you do want to have that one-on-one, and maybe it will fix the relationship, but that's an option. You can talk to that person. Maybe you just want to write a letter, and maybe it's the letter that's never sent. You need to get it out, let them know everything that hurts you, but you don't actually want to send it. You just want to write it down, and that's fine. It's a letter never sent. Maybe it is the letter that's sent, and again, maybe it fixes some things, but maybe it doesn't, and so you have to go into it with no expectations of that. Maybe you don't want to talk to that person, but you need to talk to somebody. Now, I would recommend a professional because they'll be able to help you through the situation a little better rather than just talking to all of your friends, because sometimes it just gets them on your side. It helps build the anger and the resentment. Now everybody needs a little forgiveness, so talk to a professional. Maybe you just journal it. You just want to write it out, kind of go through all the steps. Your yourself. And that can be similar to writing the letter, but it can just be journaling. It doesn't have to be specific that you're writing anything to that person. And another thing that I've done in the past that I thought was kind of healing was that I wrote down what it was that was really burdening me and then burnt it in a fire, which was, we had a big bonfire. It was a thing. So don't just like burn up something in your house. But, writing it down and then having like a little bonfire, a safe bonfire, can make you feel a lot better. And again, with all this forgiveness talk, make sure that you include yourself in that. Maybe there's some things that you need to forgive yourself for in all of this, and maybe it is that you had no part in whatever it is that the hurt is that's happening to you. If you've had some ways that you've helped deal with forgiveness, some ways that you've done it like the letter or talking to the person or something like that, or you have some better ideas, put them in the comments and let us know. Or if you just want to share maybe a big difference it made for you. You don't have to be specific on what happened, but how much freedom it gave you, how much better you felt when you forgave somebody. If you want to share that in the comments, we would love to hear it. I hope you all have a fabulous week, and we will see you again next week.